Why don't car dealers want to sell cars right now?
Dealers are not the enemy, and it's not just confused buyers, it's the level of entitlement we have in our society today.
Because the last time I bought a car, I got screwed over. I have a very bad taste in my mouth about the whole experience.
You guys are cooked. You guys are super cooked. I promise you.
Car prices are going to crash. New car inventory just hit 3.15 million units back during the pandemic. So supply is sky high and demand is really low. Why is demand so low?
I have a 720 credit score, and I walked into a dealership yesterday, and I owe some money on my current Tesla that I have, but I wanted to get a Model X. So I walk in, they're doing my financing and stuff, and they're like, we'll only give you $10,000 for your car, $11,000 for your car. I'm like, that's crazy. My car has a brand new battery. They're like, it doesn't really matter. Then they're like, all right, we need $8K down, 30% APR. Then I was like, I have a 720 credit score. I haven't missed any of my payments. I should be looking at like 6 to 10% for my APR, maybe even lower. They're like, your credit score doesn't matter. In what world does my credit score not matter on my credit application? What the fuck are you talking about?
Everybody loves to say dealerships are the problem. They want dealerships to be non-existent. Cool, let's talk about it. If dealerships did not exist, you'd have zero ability to negotiate. None. You'd pay the price on the screen, that's it. And I know what you're gonna say. I'd rather pay more so I don't have to deal with the salesman. I promise you the salesman's okay with selling a car to MSRP every single time. It's always you guys, the consumers, that want to hassle and negotiate on prices. Without us, you can't do it. And let's be real for a moment. More customers get screwed over by companies like Carvana, Vroom, CarMax than almost anywhere else. Don't believe me? Go talk to somebody who tried to trade in a vehicle they bought from one of those companies and ask them how much negative equity they had. I'll wait. And here's the part that nobody talks about. Dealerships take a loss on a huge percentage of new car sales. Without that, you're paying MSRP on every single car. No discounts, no leverage, no exceptions. So sure, hate on dealerships, but without them, the consumer loses every single time.
So we're talking about dealerships, and you see some dealership salesmen, they're a little tight right now because people are not buying cars. And at this point, everyone just can't stand dealerships. They're drowning in inventory. Cars are sitting on the lots for 200, 300 days. And instead of adapting, they're out there making TikToks defending a broken, corrupt system. So we got a few of these TikToks here of dealerships and mostly customers sharing their experience. And some of these takes are straight gaslighting, and others, there's some real talk about how predatory this whole industry is. So here's the thing. We're not necessarily anti-dealership for the most part. And it's not because we hate salespeople, but the model is fundamentally designed to extract the most amount of money through manipulation and predatory lending, especially when it comes to people with bad credit. I mean, think about it. What other industry actively tries to finance people who can't afford the product? The only reason to do that is if the default is a part of the business model. You repo the car, you already made money on the inflated interest rate, and you sell it again. That's not helping people. That's exploitation. So we're gonna watch these videos and call out the nonsense. Let's get into it. So this dealership salesman is out here defending the entire system like he's doing us a favor, which I think is just pure gaslighting. He says without dealerships, you'll have zero ability to negotiate. Okay, but Tesla exists, there's fixed pricing, people aren't getting ripped off. The negotiation at the dealerships, that's not a gift. That's manufactured drama. So you feel like you won something when they really just came down from a price they inflated 5 minutes ago. It's theater. Sometimes you'll see a price on a website, and then when you get there, suddenly the price of the website is not even the same. It's even more expensive. So even when you do negotiate, you're probably just going back down to what the price was on the website. So it doesn't really seem like you're winning at all. Then he's like, dealerships take a loss on new car sales. If that was actually true, they wouldn't exist. They make it back, and then some with the predatory financing, service contracts, trade-in, lowballing. And here's what he's not saying. Dealerships make their real money in the finance office, especially people with bad credit. That's where things get dark. They'll put anyone in a car. It doesn't matter if you can't afford it, because when you default and they repo it, they already made profit off that inflated interest rate. They already turned around and sold the same car again. That's the real actual business model. It's the repo cycle. This guy wants you to think that dealerships protect customers. But when you think about it, industry actively tries to finance people who cannot afford the product, only built on predatory lending. Why would you help someone with a 540 credit score, get into a $60,000, $70,000 car at 22% APR, unless you're banking on them to default. It's a scam, top to bottom.
Why don't car dealers want to sell cars right now? Went to look at a new Integra Type S a couple of weeks ago, checked out the car, whatever, went inside with the salesman. It's no secret these are not selling right now. They're selling anywhere from $49,000 to $51,000 brand new. I say, what's the best you can do in the car right now? I'll buy it within the week. He goes to his sales manager, comes back, says, we can take $500 off. So again, I pull up, Real Sales, Car Guru, everything showing these cars are sitting on the lot for 200, 300 days, like the last one they had. I said, yeah, I'm at like 51.5, so see if your manager will okay that one. Comes back, says, yeah, we're at $500 off. It's still a $55,000 car. They're selling for like 40s used right now. So I said, yep, I'll pass. Give me a call in 3 months when you haven't sold it and we'll talk again. In the meantime, though, I'm looking at Dodge Vipers again. So if you have a used Dodge Viper for sale close to Pennsylvania 0102, let me know.
This is a reason why dealerships are not selling cars right now. Pure arrogance meets reality. So the car has been sitting there for 200 to 300 days. It's worth $40,000 used. The dealership is still asking for $55,000 new, and they're willing to come down $500. That's not negotiation, that's insulting. And when the customer walks in ready to buy within the week, they basically told him to kick rocks over 0.5% off. The car is costing them money every single day it sits there. They're paying interest on inventory, but they're so committed to their fantasy price that they'd rather lose thousands holding it than make a reasonable deal. I don't get it. Well, actually, I do get it. It's ego. They can't admit that the market changed. The used market is literally screaming the answer at them, $40,000. That's not an opinion, that's the data. But dealerships are stuck back in 2021 where they could charge whatever they wanted because the inventory was low. Those days are over. This is why people are going to brokers. They're paying online. They're doing literally anything to avoid dealerships. When you are more committed to protecting your margin than actually moving inventory, you deserve to be drowning in unsold cars. The customer said it himself, call me in 3 months when you still haven't sold it, because that car will be still sitting there guaranteed.
I'm about to show you the oldest car on our lot, and I'm really not sure why it hasn't sold yet. Beside me is the oldest car on our lot. It's a 2025 Nissan Kicks SR. We've had it for quite some time, and I'm surprised someone hasn't bought it yet. I think it didn't sell because when the vehicle arrived, we had so many Kicks come in a bunch of great colors. Not that this isn't a great color, because someone's going to buy it, someone's going to love it. It's got a bunch of great equipment. It has Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, wireless charging, great wheels, great interior. So let me know down in the comments, why do you think we still have the vehicle? I think it's a great vehicle. Somebody should come buy it. But let me know what you think.
So this guy's making a whole TikTok about why this isn't sold yet. And this is one of those, like, they're trying to get this car sold, so they go online and make this TikTok while refusing to acknowledge the obvious answer. It's kind of like peak delusion. I'm gonna help you out. It's the price. That's the entire answer. You don't need the comments. The market is screaming at you every day that car collects dust on your lot. He lists features, Apple CarPlay, wireless charging, great wheels, like those aren't standard in literally every 2025, 2026 car. That's baseline. That's not luxury. I mean, you could buy a $20 phone charger on Amazon that does wireless charging. I mean, and his excuse is, well, we had so many Kicks come in. But in dealership translation, they overstocked. They got stuck with this ugly car color. And instead of pricing it to move, we're just going to make content about it. And here's what he's not saying. They're asking for probably $32,000 on this car that should be cost at $25,000. That's why it hasn't sold, period. But dealerships rather make these desperate TikToks to try to find a dummy to buy this car before admitting that their pricing is delusional. This is the mentality that's killing them. They really can't comprehend that maybe, just maybe, this car is overpriced. So they sit there puzzled, making videos, waiting for someone stupid enough or desperate enough to buy and overpay. And the sad part is eventually someone will bite if they're desperate enough to discount it. But until then, enjoy your free parking lot decoration.
Top things buyers do that make dealerships just not want to work with you. First one is ghosting after getting numbers. So when you come in, you look at a car, you tell them, hey, thanks for the information, I'll get back with you, and then you never do. Or you completely don't answer their calls or texts. That obviously makes them just not want to work with you. Another thing is pitting dealerships against each other. Oftentimes, I know that's the common practice that people try to do, is they'll contact different dealerships, say, hey, I got this other order over here on this one. If you do better than this, I'll put you in the running and you'll be closer to getting my deal. I understand the idea. It really just pushes the dealerships away because essentially it's just a race to the bottom at that point. Another thing that hurts your deal is unrealistic expectations. wanting an obscene amount of money off a car, wanting all these extras thrown in with no real intent to purchase really does just push the dealership away.
So this brilliant individual, he's basically complaining that customers are being smart. Is this guy really serious? I mean, I can see the glasses, I see the hair. It's possible that he is serious. So let's go through this a little bit. Ghosting after getting numbers. You mean customers that are shopping around? That's being a responsible consumer. You're not entitled to a sale just because you gave a quote. If your offer wasn't competitive, why would they call back? That's like a restaurant complaining when people looked at the menu and left. Maybe your prices are too high. Putting dealerships against each other. Do you mean like competition? You know, like capitalism, the free market? Dealerships love to talk about it when it benefits them. This guy is literally saying, don't make us compete on the price. It's unfair. That's the whole point. If 3 dealerships will sell for less than you, your price is too high. That's not customers being unreasonable. That's you getting exposed. Race to the bottom? No, that's called market pricing. You're just mad because you can't hide behind inflated markups anymore. And then talking about unrealistic expectations, this is the real translation. Customers who actually know what cars cost and they won't pay your inflated markup prices. You know what's unrealistic? Expecting people to pay $10, $15, $20,000 over MSRP like it's back in 2021. Again, like I said before, those days are gone. This whole video is basically saying customers who do research and negotiate makes our jobs harder. Yeah. Because your business model relies on people not knowing any better. If educated customers are your enemy, that tells you everything about this scam that you're running.
They're not the enemy, and it's not just confused buyers, it's the level of entitlement we have in our society today. So the average person today is always worried about themselves. They're not worried about anybody else. It could be a salesperson there that could be worried about themselves. It could be a consumer only thinking about trying to take advantage. The comments I see on some of the stuff out there are, oh, I got this dealer over. They're trying to screw me, or they call them stealerships. And it's like, okay, but you took the time out of your day to even comment that. So what does that tell me about you? It tells me you're a victim. Do you take 100% responsibility for your life, your choices, and your circumstance? Or do you want to find someone to blame? And in society, we've seen that type of attitude has been encouraged and enabled. And so that's really the biggest reason I think that people feel that way is just, yeah, look, there's bad actors in every type of profession. I had a dentist one time try to take advantage of me, and I found a great one that I've been with for years. So the point is there's people in all industries that can take advantage, but do you take responsibility to find the right one to do business with?
So here's this guy with some spicy takes here. So this guy said, if you complain about dealerships screwing you over, you're the problem for playing the victim. So let's talk about that for a little bit. So when someone gets hit with $5,000 in junk fees, marked up interest rates, and pressure tactics for warranties that they don't need, recognizing the scam makes them entitled? That's manipulation at its finest. I mean, that is some abuser logic right there. I mean, I'm sure that he is a salesman. You took the time to comment, so you're the victim. So warning other people about the predatory practices makes you the bad guy. That's literally how consumer protection works. People share experiences so others don't get ripped off. But sure, let's call that playing the victim instead of, community service. There's bad actors in every profession. Okay. But here's the difference. The entire dealership model is the problem. Tactics that they use that is designed to confuse customers. That's not just a few bad apples. It's in the structure. When your whole industry needs laws written to protect consumers from you, maybe the problem is bigger than just individual bad actors. And that dentist comparison is pretty hilarious too. A dentist try to screw you over, they can lose their license. Dealerships get a slap on the wrist, business as usual. It's not the same thing. Take responsibility to find the right one. You know what? Yes, I do agree. Unfortunately, we are in a position that you have to spend 40 hours researching on which dealership is slightly less predatory. Yeah, we have to figure that out. But it would be great if the dealerships was just not so predatory. It's a wild concept. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like that's going to happen anytime soon.
Someone who has purchased over 7 cars from the auction since I was 19 years old and I'm 41. Stop giving these dealerships your money. They are drowning you guys, and you're letting them just so you could be in a car. And then half of y'all don't even get a car that is worth the money that you're paying. I know people paying damn near $900 plus insurance for fucking Nissan Rogues when you can go to an auction with that money down and get the car. They can't sell you a lemon. You know what I mean? Bring you a mechanic. Get your cars from an auction. Stop having people play with you. And y'all be wondering why y'all in debt like that. Not for a car, babes. Like, not for a car.
All right, I will never buy.
Now, this is someone that is definitely telling the truth, and the next car I will probably get is probably going to be from an auction. So she says she's been buying it for 22 years, and the reason why she's doing it because she doesn't want to be in debt. Dealerships are drowning people in debt for cars that are just not worth it. No one should be paying $900 a month plus insurance for a Nissan Rogue. It's a basic SUV that depreciates like crazy. Those payments could cover a mortgage in some cities, but people are stuck because dealerships prey on desperation. They know that most people don't know about the auctions, don't have a trusted mechanic, or scared of getting a lemon. So they charge a massive premium for the peace of mind while selling you the same auction cars with the 300% markup. Here's what they don't want you to know. Auctions exist. Bring a mechanic. Get a car for way less. Yeah, it may take some more work and some knowledge, but you know what doesn't acquire? A 22% APR from a predatory finance office that's banking on you to default on a loan. The dealership model survives on convenience and fear. When you're paying $900 a month for a car that they bought for $15,000 and then sold it to you for $35,000, you are the product. They're not doing you a favor. They're making a lot of money off of your lack of knowledge. So you really have to stop letting these people play with you, literally.
All right, I will never buy a car stepping in to a car dealership ever again, and let me explain why. So recently my wife bought a brand new car, and we used a service that is a broker who will go shop the best deals available on your behalf. Originally, I was hesitant because the last time I bought a car, I got screwed over. I have a very bad taste in my mouth about the whole experience. And so I got on a call with this guy. His name's Mike. Awesome, by the way. I'll drop his info below. Basically understood my lifestyle, our lifestyle, what kind of car we wanted, what the budget was, if we had a trade-in, which we did. And basically, he went and within 3 days, shopped for the best deal possible. Multiple $1,000s off the car, the MSRP. Sign and drive, zero money down, top of the line trim, all without me having to talk to a salesperson, having to step into a car dealership once. And also our trade-in got picked up from our front door, check handed to us same day, new car delivered the next day. It was unbelievable. It made me realize how bad the buying experience is for cars, and also made me realize how much of an impact buying experience matters in general for customers that work with B2B tech sales professionals. So I don't know what this means for the future, but I will never step into a car dealership again unless it's for a test drive. But man, this was such a great experience that it kind of blew my mind. So I wanted to share with everyone.
So this does sound like the future, and I think this is why dealerships are going to be terrified. So this man just proved how completely unnecessary the dealership experience is. Got thousands of dollars off of MSRP, zero down, top trim, handled the trade and pickup, delivered the car to his door, and he never had to talk to a single salesperson. Never stepped foot in a dealership. That 4-hour finance office nightmare where they continue to push shit like undercoding and gap insurance, the let me talk to my manager theater, that's been eliminated. The pressure tactics completely avoided, and the broker got him a better deal than he would have normally got himself. Why? Because brokers know the game. They know what's sitting on lots. They know what dealerships are desperate to move, and they can create actual competition without the emotional attachment customers have. Dealerships hate this because they can't manipulate professionals who do this for a living. Sign and drive, zero money down, top of the line trim. That's what happens when you remove the psychological warfare dealerships rely on. They have to compete purely on price and service. And guess what? They still made the sale. They couldn't just rip them off in the process. That's why dealerships lobby so hard to protect their little franchise model. If everyone figured out that they can use brokers, or if direct to consumer became the norm, the entire predatory system will collapse. The dealership isn't adding value. It's extracting it. Their entire business model is being disrupted, and honestly, it's a good thing. They had decades to treat customers fairly and chose profit over people every single time.
Everybody hates salespeople. We already know this. We get it. You guys want to buy directly from the manufacturer because Tesla does it. They've had some success. Why don't you take a look and see what the average credit score of a Tesla buyer is? Why don't you take a look and see how much money they put down? How much money they make, right? I'm not saying that, they make money or cars for people that only make good money and high income and good credit and money down. But at the end of the day, the reason why it's easy to sell is because the people that are buying those cars are in those positions, right? So if you're like 90% of the population that is not in that position, but you hate car salespeople, Think about this. Are you going to call yourself into 20 different banks to try to get you an approval? You're going to go fill out 20 different credit apps? You're going to call the bank? Are you going to negotiate the $2,000 bank fee that they're trying to give you because you have a 504 and you got no money down? Are you going to try to negotiate the rate? Are you going to try to negotiate the payment? Are you going to do anything? Because that's what we do. That's what we get paid to do, right? But you guys don't like us. We suck. We suck. We're ruining the car buying process, right? Think about that. Think about that. Because unless you got stellar credit and money down, high income, I promise you, this whole buying from the manufacturer directly, you guys are cooked. You guys are super cooked. I promise you.
So we got another dealership guy that's probably struggling to sell cars, trying to convince us that they're doing us a favor. So let's break it down. He says Tesla only works because customers are rich with perfect credit scores. I mean, I don't even think that's even true. I think, especially this year, Teslas are not that expensive. I think, again, it was overinflation a couple of years ago. It was this love of EVs. I think a lot of that has turned sour at this point, considering if you lived in a cold climate in the last couple of weeks, you must hate your electric vehicle. But let's say if that's even true. But you can say that's probably by design. Tesla doesn't play games with subprime lending because their model isn't built on trapping people in predatory loans. Dealerships love bad credit customers because that's where they make their real money, marking up interest rates on people who have no choice. He asks the question, are you going to call 20 banks yourself? Well, no. Bro, I can get a pre-approved at a credit union in 20 minutes online and bypass your finance office completely. This isn't 1995. I don't need a salesman to negotiate with banks when I can literally do it on my phone. So he also says that's what we get paid to do. Yeah, you get paid to mark up interest rates and pocket the difference. Where the bank approves you at 6%, but the dealer sells it to you at 9%, that's not helping. That's profiting off of my lack of knowledge, right? Or the lack of knowledge of customers. That's called reserve, and it's literally profit built on customers not knowing any better. So here's the real issue, and this is what pisses a lot of people off. Why are you even trying to put someone with a 540 credit score into a car they can't afford? Think about that. The only reason you're doing that is you know they're going to default on this loan. You're going to repo it. You already made money on the inflated rate and you're going to sell it again. That's the scam business model. That's why it's called predatory lending. It's disguised as we're trying to help people with bad credit. Miss me with that. That's not happening.
I think in the past year, there's been a crazy increase in consumers using car buying services, and I can understand why. The truth is, people are really just tired of dealership BS. Brokers and those who offer a car buying service, they really do make the process pretty easy, not only for the customer, but for the salesman too. For example, I've worked a number of broker deals. They literally tell me what car they're looking for. They have a stock number ready. They tell me their client's credit and they tell me the terms that they're looking for. Now, of course, they're going to do their shopping. Their job is to get their client the best number. So I just got to make sure I send my best possible number as well. 9 times out of 10, we agree on terms, and within 5 minutes, a credit application is already in my queue. And just like that, that's another car deal. So I can see why a lot of people don't mind paying a fee just to get the whole entire deal done, and the only thing that they have to do is just go and pick up the car. And as a salesman, these are literally the easiest deals ever. There's really no back and forth. You're just sending your best number and that's it. So guys, if you're tied into work and don't really have much time, but you need to get into a car, there's nothing wrong with looking into someone who offers the car buying service. It's going to save you a ton of time and a lot of headache.
So this dealership salesman, I see him on TikTok. He does pretty good work in terms of explaining some of these stuff, but he just admitted that brokers make everything better. And he actually exposed why the traditional model is garbage. Listen to what he's saying. He's saying when brokers come in with stock numbers, credit info, and terms, he sends his best number and then closes the deal in 5 minutes. There's no games. There's no manager theater. There's no BS. He straight up admits these are literally the best deals ever. So let me get this straight. If removing all of the manipulation tactics makes the car buying process easy and the salesmen actually prefer it, why don't dealerships operate like this all the time? Well, you already know why. The traditional model makes more money by confusing and exhausting customers into bad deals. That 4-hour finance marathon is not by accident. It's designed to wear you down until you just accept whatever they're pushing. But when a broker who knows the game shows up, suddenly deals close in 5 minutes with their best number. So this is the whole scam. If brokers got deals done in 5 minutes and salespeople actually like working with them, that means every single regular customer buying experience is just getting jerked around for hours and they're getting played on purpose. Dealerships choose to make the process painful because that's how they extract maximum profit from people who do not know any better. Of course, there's nothing wrong with using a car buying service because it forces salespeople and the dealerships to be honest about the pricing and removes all the manipulation out of the room. them. And it removes the dealership manipulation playbook. And of course, some of these salesmen are going to be fine with it because the alternative is, well, you're not going to get a car sold. This is why dealerships are drowning. People are waking up to the BS and they deserve everything that's coming to them. But there you have it. It's a reason why these dealerships are struggling right now. And I'll be honest, I don't feel bad for them at all. Salespeople are trying to defend dealerships or keep saying the same things. We're necessary. We help people. Without us, you'll pay more. But then we saw the reality. But there's cars out there in dealership lots sitting for 300 days because they won't budge on their delusional pricing. Customers getting insulted by $500 discounts on cars that's just overpriced. Salespeople complaining that educated customers are the problem. That's the issue. That's where it all comes down to. Dealerships just don't add value. They take it away. The negotiation isn't real. The finance office markups are not helping you. And putting people that have 540 credit scores into massive expensive vehicles at 22% APR is not compassion. It's predatory lending. The reason why people are going to brokers or they're buying online or checking out CarMax despite its issues is because they will literally do anything to avoid the traditional dealership experience. It's not because customers are entitled. It's because dealerships have been running the same scam for decades and people are finally getting tired. They're finally waking up to go against it. So if you're in the market for a car, do your homework, get pre-approved for a credit union, use a broker if you can, shop around and pit dealerships against each other. That's not being difficult. That's being smart. And if a salesman tries to guilt you about it, just remember this. Their paycheck depends on you not knowing any better. And of course, you can always check out the auctions as well. But let me know what you guys think about this story in the comments below. Thank you for taking time to watch this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video.